I want to start this video off by saying that I am not sorry for anything that I say here. So, 2020. It's been a crazy year. I've been gone for a pretty long time. I actually have made this video at least 12 separate times. I didn't know if I wanted to play a game and do this. The first time I tried doing that and it didn't work, so I'm just putting this as an overlay. This is an hour-long video I just decided to make at some point in time. I don't know. Anyway, things I need to talk about on here. I've kept quiet for a while because I just didn't want to deal with like backlash or whatever from what I'm about to say, but I'm going to, and I don't care what anybody says about it, because at the end of the day, it's how I feel, and I don't want people watching this who don't agree with me to watch me if they don't like me. So I'm not going to lie and act like I am some way when I'm not. So, I'm going to go back a long time, about 2018. 2018. Either 2018 or it was 2016. Can't remember. When Colin Kaepernick and a bunch of other NFL players decided to kneel for the American flag and the national anthem during football games because of police brutality. Now, I'm not going to get into that a shitload because I don't want to talk about it. It's been talked about too much. I will talk about one thing. Alright? Our flag is more than just cloth. It's more than just some piece of string put together. Our flag is a symbol, and it represents us and everything that is American. There's a story that I'd like to tell about our flag that I don't know if a lot of people know. See, the Star-Spangled Banner, it was created by Francis Scott Key, and it was originally titled The Shelling of Fort McHenry, or The Attack of Fort McHenry, because that's what it was talking about in the song. You see, what happened was Francis Scott Key had been brought onto a British ship. I don't remember the exact reason why, but when he was on board that ship, there were American soldiers and people below deck in cages and in chains, and the British officer that he was speaking to told him, he said, "We're going to start shelling your fort. And when we shell it, we will not stop." He said, "The only way that we will stop shelling your fort is if you let your American flag fall." And then they started shelling. And hours passed. So many hours passed. And after, the flag was still standing. It had been hit directly at least maybe 12 times. And it was still standing. But it was hanging at an on angle. Francis Scott Key didn't understand why, because he wasn't there. He didn't know why. As it turns out, the flag's base had broken many times, and the flag had almost fallen many times. And every time our flag almost fell, someone at the fort would rush and hold the flagpole and hold it up. And then they would die. And somebody else would come running and they'd hold it up. Over and over again this happened, and eventually there was a pile of bodies on it, which caused it to hang at an odd angle, which is what Francis Scott Key saw. Now, I understand that a lot of people are probably angry right now. They're mad. They think that the world is awful, the injustice is unprecedented. But I want people to remember, every time you burn our flag, or kneel for our flag, or disrespect our flag, I want you to remember all of those people that died to keep our flag from falling. I just want you to remember them, and remember that. Now, I'm going to go a little bit more recent with the riots and Chaz and all of these different stupid things. These riots, the riots that happened, are atrocious. It is awful. And it is stupid. And frankly, I am despised to be a human with this kind of thing happening. And I will not call you protesters or activists or people of the cause, because you aren't. You're animals. You're rioters. You are looters. You are raiders. You are terrible, and I will not support you. Now, on to my last topic before, I don't know. If I get on to other things, I guess I'll just keep the clock ticking. I recently unsubscribed from a couple people on YouTube, and I think I've talked about it on other social media platforms. I don't remember exactly. But some of these people that I was watching, I've been watching for years. And every single one, I unsubscribed from in an instant. Every single one. But here's what's really funny, is there was only 4. Jacksepticeye. I've been watching him for maybe 6-7 years. I've been watching him for quite a long time, ever since I was a kid. And I enjoyed and loved watching him. He always made me laugh. He made me die of laughter. But now, I can't watch a single one of his videos, because he not only supports the people that are destroying this country, but he's basically condoning everything that they're doing. And I can't stand for that. And I know some people will say, well, you're just as bad for, not supporting them, for not watching them because of what they support. And to that I'll say, I didn't stop watching them because of who they support. I didn't do that. It killed me to unsubscribe from the people that I've watched for years. I unsubscribed because I can't sit back and allow myself to support something so awful. I cannot sit and, because every view that you go on a channel that is monetized brings them cash and brings them money. I am not going to give someone money to donate to a cause that promotes hatred. I will not do it. So, that one's that. Markiplier. Second YouTuber. See, Mark was one of the channels that I first started watching when I first got on YouTube. I've watched him for almost 8 or 9 years. Long time. I'm 18. So when I was like 9 or 10 is when I started watching him. He hasn't actively gone out and did charities like Jack has, but he still supports them, because in his video that he made, I don't remember what it was titled, because I watched it all the way to the end, and towards the end my brain was just like, don't click off just yet, wait until the ending, because something's coming and I know you're not gonna like it. And at the end of his video, he said, Black Lives Matter, therefore supporting that cause. So, I unsubscribed, and I've stopped watching them. I check on their channels every now and again to see if they have uploaded anything else, you know, because I feel like I have to. But then there was, well, the other channel that I did wasn't exactly, I wasn't subscribed to them. I watched them, but I wasn't subscribed. Crank Gameplays. I unsubscribed from Ethan as well, because it seemed like he was on the same wavelength as Markiplier. So I just flat out ignore anything of Ethan's now. Then Craig Thompson. It's the channel. It's Mini Lad. I'm sure all of you know. Quite a few know who Mini Lad is. If you ever watched Vanos Gaming, you would know what Mini Lad is. Who Mini Lad is. But I watched Mini. I watched him a lot. I liked him a lot. He made a video outright coming and saying that these riots and these murders and all of these things that they are were necessary and that they needed to happen and that they were good. I was appalled that I had ever watched this person, that I had ever spent time enjoying this person, and I unsubscribed. I know people will probably think that I'm petty, and I don't care. I honestly don't care. But these things that have happened, that are happening, it's not the end. I'll tell you that. It's not. It'll never be the end. Because see, things like this have been going on for years. It always comes back. Every time it comes back. You see, there was a time when racial segregation was a thing. Black people couldn't go in stores that white people could go into. And they couldn't drink from the same water fountain. and they had to sit on the back of the bus. All of these things happened, and they were real. And I understand that they were real. But now, it's not the same. And see, people treat it like it is, but it isn't. There is no systemic racism today. There are no people that do that sort of thing. There are racists out there. I'm not saying that. But just because you're black doesn't mean that you can't get a job somewhere, or you can't buy a house, or buy a car, or live in a certain state, or eat a certain food. See, here's the thing that they won't tell you that I find very funny. See, during the Civil War and segregation and the Civil Rights era, do you know what people did do that stuff? The people that did that were the Democrats. The Democratic Party were the ones who did that. See, that's what they don't tell you, though, right? Because they're all for justice now. Or are they? Because right now, it seems like they're trying to egg this on and start something. This is not who we are. We are Americans. And we have the best fucking country in the world that we are living in right now. And I don't care what anybody says. Now I'm going to leave off the video. And I hope that something that I've said has maybe opened your eyes a little bit. At least I hope. But anyway, I will conclude and say thank you for watching, and all lives matter.